Good morning, Power Parents, and welcome to Self Care Sunday, where we explore what it means to fill your own cup. I'm Christina. Hello, I'm your Mind BS mama, coming at you with a hot tip on how you can tackle everything you need to do while still feeling centered, present, and not like you're being pulled in a million different directions. Okay? You ever feel like that? Like you're being just torn apart, like the needs of work pull you away from your kids, and the needs of your kids pull you away from your spouse, and the needs of your spouse pull you away from whatever else is pulling on you, like extended family or like a side hustle or a hobby or like rest, right? And all of these things are constantly pulling on your attention, and that means that you just can never get to your own needs. You feeling me? All right, so straighten your crown, my friend, because today we are going to work on shifting that. So this is an interactive exercise, so grab yourself a piece of paper. All right, so draw a circle in the center of your paper and my life, just like this. So let's think about what is pulling the hardest on you, like the two biggest directions that are pulling you apart. For me, it's my role of mom and business owner. So think about what's pulling the hardest on you and then put that on either side of your circle. All right, so now that you've got that, let's think about what it means to be successful in these roles, both short-term and long-term. So write it out underneath each of these roles. So I'm going to start with mom. To be a success as a mom, my kids need to be well behaved and happy. I need to be making nutritious meals. The kids need to be learning well, doing well in school. They need to be well stimulated, which is why I have them in all these different activities so that they can try all the things and see what they like. They need to have an active social life. They need to have friends that's going to help nurture them. So I find myself driving around to all of these different activities and play dates so that they can have these friends. And my kids need to feel loved and respected. And that is what makes me successful as a mom. All right. So now on the other side of the circle, we're going to do the same thing with this other area of our life. So what would it mean to be successful in that role, whatever's pulling on you? So for me, it's this business. And in order to be successful here, I need to help get people transformations that they're looking for. I need to be making money. I need to figure out the whole marketing thing. I need to be making sales, like that's all new to me. And I need to master all of the technology and figure out how to maximize my SEO. Oh my goodness, there is so much pulling on me in this direction. Okay, so now we've defined two major areas of our life, but that's not all you got. I bet you've got like at least a dozen other roles in your life, but we're just going to pick 1 to 3 more. And so for me, the other things that are pulling on me are my day job, my house, and my spouse. And so we're going to do the same thing for these new categories. What would make you successful there? I'll give you a second to write it out. So here we are with a snapshot of our life. And what I've noticed is that it feels like different parts of my life take away from the success of the other parts. Like in my day job, I'm thinking of my kids and my business. And when I come home from work, I can like see the weeds in my garden. And then I make dinner real quick because I need to teach a class that night. But then my kids are needing attention. And I feel like I'm always being pulled in all of these different directions constantly. So it feels like each of these is a different mountain to climb. Like if I want to focus on the kids, I have to like get off of my business mountain and start climbing the good mom mountain. And that feels like a chore. That feels like oh my goodness, I've been climbing this mountain. I'm like working so hard at it. Now I have to get off of it and go over here. And that's like a big mind shift for me. You know what I mean? And I can feel my stress levels rising even as I say this, because it feels like I am never getting anywhere. I'm just climbing, 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 and not getting any farther ahead. Anyone feel like that? And so if something happens, like my kids get sick, now I am like super torn between my responsibilities at the same time. Like, do I disappoint my kids and send them to school anyways because they're not that sick, right? Or do I disappoint my boss and my colleagues by not showing up today? I feel torn. And so what I end up doing is trying to do both, right? Because they're both important. I want to do both. So I'm going to try to get work done while I'm tending to my kid. And what does that do? Anybody tried to do that before? I'm going to tell you what it does is it puts me in an elevated stress state, fight, flight, or freeze. Like I am just feeling on edge all day long. And I could feel the panic starting and the sense of failure at both tasks because I'm kind of divided between the two. And it feels like it's just weighing me down and I'm exhausted and I just don't want to climb anymore. Ever had that feeling where you just wanted to escape and not climb anymore? Okay. So this is what today is about. Let's see if we can make this easier. So take a look at your page here, your snapshot of your life. There is one big thing missing. One really important part of our life. Any guesses? It's you. It's you. You're missing from this. For so many years, I took care of everyone else and everything else, and I put aside my own needs as the mountain climber because it felt like I would make more progress in climbing if I didn't have to stop for anything, if I didn't have to stop to take care of my own needs. Like, I'm not even on this diagram. Like, I'm not even part of my own life. Okay, time for a new paper. Write me at the top. What does it mean to be good to yourself and successful in taking care of yourself? So for me, taking care of myself means allowing myself to rest when I need to. It means taking care of my body. It means being kind to myself. And it means making sure that I am loved and stimulated and respected. And if I look at this list, like, oh my God, my needs are the same as my kids. It's like I forgot that I was human. Okay, but here's the problem. Here is the issue with this. It's great to write it on paper, but what it feels like is a whole other mountain to climb. Like another thing to do that is going to compete with all of the other things that are already pulling me apart. Like, no wonder I got rid of it. It's all just like, it's just too much. Let's do a new analogy. Okay. Let's think of us all as jugglers. And we are amazing jugglers. Like, all of our life tasks are flying through the air, even if they're on fire. It's fine. It's fine. We have got this. We are juggling like a boss. That's what my 20s were like anyway. I was feeling pretty damn smug about my juggling skills. Then I had kids. So I had to drop some. I had to drop some to survive. And what balls do we drop first? Universally, the first ones to go is anything relating to ourselves. There goes healthy eating. Bye-bye. I'll just live on cold Pop-Tarts and coffee. Boom, there goes exercise. No time for that. Bye-bye naps and hobbies and social time. So we have dropped all of those balls just so that we can keep up. So why is that? Why do we drop all of our own balls first? Because we're programmed to. As little kids, what did we get praised for? Helping, getting good grades, scoring goals, doing our homework, being nice to others, giving away, sharing our favorite toy, putting all of our needs aside for everybody else, right? So we make people happy by either serving them in some way or achieving. And this gets interpreted by our mind as we are only good and lovable and worthy if we are serving or achieving. We're only safe in our social group if we are serving or achieving. So this is going to be the top of mind priority for our mind. Okay, so let's take a look at your definitions of success that you wrote on the page there. how much of those definitions involve either serving or achieving? Because when you think about it, there is no immediate payoff, no praise, no achievement high for resting. It's just not a priority for our mind. It's not a worthwhile thing to do. So for most of us, what we wrote down is our mind's definition of success. And this is based on our old programs and what our mind decides will keep us as a valued member of our community. But our mind is only 1/3 of our being. We also have our body and our soul, and they may have very different definitions of success. But we're programmed to prize logic above all else, and ignore or suppress emotions and intuition. And so today we're going to create a new definition of success. Yes. Okay. And to do that, we need to tap into our body and soul. And so we are going to do a quick visualization activity. And this is going to be like a journaling journey. Oh, I like that. A journaling journey. I'm going to walk you through the visualization. Take a moment to sink into it, and then write down the answers to the questions I ask you as you visualize them. Okay, you ready? You got your paper? Deep breath in and out. Imagine that you are living your very best life right now. Right now, you are insanely happy. And as you go through your day, you are relaxed and you are calm. You have beautiful relationships with your children. You wake up in the morning rested. Oh, yes, rested, feeling so good and so excited for the possibilities of the day. Feel that happiness? All right, from this place of your best life, what does your relationship with your kids look like? How about your relationship with your spouse? What does that look like? All right, what about your relationship with yourself? How are you treating yourself in this best life? All right, jot down whatever comes to mind really fast. The idea is that it's meant to be fast so that you don't overthink it. Okay. And now we're going to jump into the future, 10 years, 15 years, to a time when your kids have grown up and moved out and you are retired. Woohoo! You have this new time freedom in your day. Feels so good. What's making you happy in this phase of life? What are you doing? What activities are you doing that are bringing you joy? All right, so your kids are all grown up and they're living their best lives too. What are they doing? How are they living their best lives? I want to know what habits they have that makes their life happy, like yours. All right, so can you picture this future you 15 years from now? Now you are sitting at a table. The you from today is sitting at the table with the future you. And they're sitting across from you with like a wise and knowing smile. And you're sitting there with your stressed out nerves and bags under your eyes, wondering how it could be possible with all of the craziness of life to be happy and calm like the future you. And the future you says, you did this, hon. This is a result of your choices and your actions. You created a happy life by, fill in the blanks. You created this happy life by, and the future you says, when it gets hard, just remember, all you have to do to be a good parent is, and the future you says, your kids are so lucky. Our kids are so lucky. They are living amazing lives because you modeled for them and when you are ready, come back to the present. So go back to the page with me at the top of it. If that visualization was your reality and your future, how would that future you define a successful life? Write down your new definition of success that includes all of the things that you wrote on the previous page, and especially the definition of success around you that's right here on this page. That's why I wanted to be on the same page. You have to incorporate you into this. So I will be successful in my life if. So curious what you put down here. All right. So this is how I picture the future me. I'm rocking it. Heck yeah. And I wrote, I'll be successful in my life if I have a great relationship with my children and they know that they can count on me to be there for them. I have a loving relationship with my spouse and myself, which are two different relationships. I make enough money to pay the mortgage and my expenses. I find joy in my everyday life. I love with my whole heart. And I have contributed to ending burnout culture, which is a big passion of mine. So how does this definition of success feel in your body compared to the definitions on the previous page that are pulling you apart? So with this new definition, we're going to start thinking of our life as only one mountain to climb. And this one mountain is going to lead to this new definition of success. No longer do we have these competing mountains to climb. We now have one long-term definition of success that we're going to spend our entire lives working towards. And what that means in having one mountain, it means that in every inch that we climb, it brings us closer and closer to this definition of success. Yay! But how can we make the mind shift that is going to allow us to really embody this? Because that's what it is. It's a mind shift. Okay? So I'm going to give you a trick. We're going to picture this mountain made up of millions of boxes stacked on top of each other, like little gift wrap boxes or presents. And each of these boxes represents a quantity of time, a little gift of time. And they're all different sizes. Some of them are like teeny tiny with just 1 minute in them. Some of them have 5 or 10 minutes, and some of them with as much as half a day. It's completely up to you. You get to define your presence. And the best part is we have the privilege of giving out our presents to anyone or anything that we choose. Aren't we lucky? I love giving gifts. And we're going to give them out exclusively to the things that are going to move us towards our definition of success. So that means that I can gift myself a 1-minute present in the middle of my workday to do some breathing exercises. Just 1 minute. And instead of the mindset of this like taking away from my workday, like, oh my goodness, I have so much work to get done. Now I know that this is actually moving me closer to my definition of success. I could take 1 minute for myself, and it is not selfish. It is not competing with anything else. It is moving me closer to my best life. Yay. Then I can gift myself 30 minutes of uninterrupted time to be present with a task at my day job. Okay. And I know that at the end of my 30 minutes, I'm going to gift myself 15 minutes to walk around the block. Okay. And all of this moves me closer to a life of balance and where I am living out my personal definition of success. So the goal here is to make the mind shift that will allow you to like work with your old programs and your mind BS that's going to tell you to climb, achieve, right? And we want to get to a place where you are celebrating that 1 minute of breathing exercises because you know that that's helping you climb. And your mind BS isn't shouting at you that you are wasting your time because you're celebrating the fact that you are climbing, right? Okay. So I know what you're thinking, because this is what I would be thinking, is that great, that sounds great in theory, but what about when we get home from work and the kids are all rangy and they won't let you make dinner? So now you are torn between tending to them and the need to get dinner on the table because you got stuff to do, right? How can you use these gifts of presence to move yourself closer to your definition of success? Any ideas? Lots of room to get creative here. What I love about this is that it allowed me to think in smaller increments of time. I could give my kids a 3-minute full attention present of like a cuddle and sillies. And when those 3 minutes are up, I can reassess. It's just 3 minutes. 3 minutes is totally doable. And I don't have to worry about dinner for 3 minutes because, 3 minutes. And then I can decide what my next present will be. And it might be, honestly, between you and me, it might be a 1-minute timeout in the bathroom to regroup if my kids are especially fussy. Like, who knows? But that's a gift to me. I need to regroup so that I can be the parent that I want to be and build the definition of success that I want to build. Okay? That's the mind shift. And so the other thing in this new definition of success is that in my definition, it doesn't say anything about traditional sit-down meals. My old definition of success was pretty rigid, right? Like in my old definition, I was like, no, we sit down as a family to meals and meals have to look a certain way, right? But in my new long-term definition of success, it really doesn't care much about that. It doesn't care about the minutiae. It cares more about the relationships. So maybe tonight, dinner will be like cheese and crackers and grapes while we read a book together, right? And I can let go of the mind BS that tells me it needs to be one way and celebrate the fact that I am choosing to give my gifts to things that are going to move me towards my definition of success. Yay. It also works great for making decisions, like when you're deciding if you should work an extra hour or go pick up your kids right away, or go get a coffee and read a book for that hour. There's so many options. And you can ask yourself, what will move you closer to your definition of success? And then gift your presence to those chosen options. All right, so that brings me to a few key elements. This doesn't work unless these are in place. So the first one is you actually have to be present for your present. This is actually really hard. So pick an amount of time that's feasible for you. If you can't be present for half a day, don't pick half a day. You can pick just 5 seconds to breathe in and out. That's a gift to you. And if you want some more ideas of 5-second gifts you can give yourself, you can grab my Burnout Escape Plan on my website, mindbs.ca/escape burnout. Okay. That brings me to the second key element, which is don't try to mash your gifts together. Our mind is going to want to do this because it thinks that it's more productive. Like making a grocery list in your head while you're playing with your kid, or trying to answer emails while your kid is fussing, Trying to cram all of this together is what's going to cause your nervous system to run on overdrive and your thoughts to race and wake you up at 3 a.m. with all of the things that you need to do. Okay? In giving these gifts, we are actually rewiring our brain. We are teaching our mind to be present for just one thing, which it doesn't like to do, but we're starting with just a short amount of time. Totally doable. All right. Another key element is to give your gift only to the things that are going to move you forward. And so that like dramatic aunt who is complaining about everything doesn't get a gift. You don't need to spend the time on that. And when in doubt, go back to that definition of success that you just created and ask yourself, will this move me closer to it? So did you notice in my new definition of success that there was nothing about the curb appeal of my house, which is something that I stress about all of the time, where like I don't want it to look like we've let it go. So I might give my garden like a minute here and there to pluck out a weed as I walk up my walkway. And then I'm not going to worry about it at all. And I'm not going to worry if my husband is a few days late cutting the grass, because it's just not something I want to give the gift of my presence to anymore. So you might be the opposite. You might love gardening and you might choose to give it more of your presence. That's great. If it lights you up, do that. You have the power to choose, which brings me to the final key element, which is to listen to your body. It's so smart, people. It will tell you what lights you up. You can also think of it this way, okay? What we're actually doing is shifting away from doing things out of fear, which is like our mind BS tells us. It's the fear of being judged as a bad mom or worker or homeowner if you're not perfect, and into a place where you are doing things for yourself because it lights you up. And if you listen closely and drown out the mind BS, the crazy voice inside of your head that tells you that you want to be helpful or achieving something all the time, your body is going to tell you the exact right choice to move you closer to your definition of success. So here's the mind shift. You are completely in control of what you do for the next minute. Yes, you are. You have the power to choose. And 1 minute is always doable. And when you take back this power, everything you do inches you towards your definition of success. So your to-dos are not competing anymore. You get to look at the bigger picture now and allocate your time strategically to whatever will move you up your mountain. All right, so I want to give you a real life example before we sign off today. Last night, I was working on this PowerPoint, trying to get it done, and my son comes in and literally wants to talk about the weather. He loves weather, and I guess like there's a storm that's moving its way across North America right now. So this is an example of being pulled in two different directions. And what normally would have happened is that I would have given him my attention outwardly, but inside I would be freaking out. My inner voice would be like screaming, I don't care, I have stuff to do, go away. And I'm sure he could feel that energy. And in that place, my nervous system is ramping up. My stress levels are going up and I'm stressing myself out. And every minute that he talked feels like an hour. You know what I mean? You ever been there? Okay, but that's the old me. I don't do that anymore. Instead, I reset myself, I took a breath, and I reset my intention. What aligns with my definition of success? And I can tell you, it's not my PowerPoint. My future self does not care at all about this PowerPoint. So I'm going to give my son the gift of my presence. And I turned on my curiosity and I got to watch him light up as he explained like these different weather phenomena that was contributing to the storm and what we can expect in our area. And I would have missed that otherwise. And honestly, it took 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That is nothing in the grand scheme of things. So now when the 5 minutes is up, he's said his piece, he's happy, and I can get back to my PowerPoint and be even more productive because I'm not in this place of fight or flight, which I would have been if I had the other mindset. So now I'm in this place of calm and happiness and gratitude for having connected with my son and moved myself closer to my goals. See what I'm saying? So that is how this mind shift allows you to feel centered and present, because you know that you know what you are working towards. And you're present for only one thing at a time, and you celebrate your success internally each time you give a gift because it feels good. Okay, one more example of this, because this is one that I had a hard time with, and that is choosing to stay home to care for a sick kid. I felt so much guilt about missing work. Like I was letting people down by not being there, and that ramped up my stress and it made me feel torn between my responsibilities. And in my definition of success that I just created, the only thing career related was that I made enough money to pay the mortgage. So am I fired for staying home with a sick kid? No. I can let go of the mind BS that tells me that I'm failing if I am not at work every day. Because really, am I failing? No. I am showing my kids that they can count on me, and I'm putting my presence into growing that sense of security, success. And bonus points if you take care of you at the same time by giving yourself the rest and space that you need. So again, I'm calm and at peace with my decision, and the day goes much differently than if I was trying to attend meetings while my kid was throwing up, right? Does that make sense? All right, okay. Now we are all gift givers. Yay, us. So what gifts are we actually going to give? It actually takes some practice. So let's spend a few minutes thinking about presents that we want to give out today based on your new definition of success. And we're going to start with 3 presents, one for you, one for your kids, and one more for whatever feels good to you, anything you'd like. So an example, one for me is I might do a 4-minute meditation affirmation on my app. One for my kids is maybe we might play a board game today. And one for whatever feels good, I might just sit for a minute and cuddle with my dog. So you decide what it will be and for how long. You have the power to choose. So I hope this has been useful to you. I hope that your new definition of success will help guide you in making choices in alignment with it. And I hope that you'll take a minute to celebrate that you showed up today and you gave yourself the gift of being present and open to new ideas for almost 40 minutes. Have a wonderful day. I can't wait to hear about what presents you give yourself. Mwah. Join me in my Blissfully Busy Facebook group to see if we can figure out how to dodge burnout together.